Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you guys today? I am so excited to bring to you the Happy Hedgehog Bundle. It is out of the new January to June 2022 mini catalog. So it started on January 4th and you have until June, the end of June, I don't know the exact date off the top of my head, to get this amazing, adorable, cute little stamp set. It is located in our mini. I do have it online on my website, which is inkyhandswarmhearts.com. I will show you the actual catalog page. This is it right here. And these are the little cute hedgehogs. The bundle is $32.25 in the United States. And if you do not have a demonstrator, I'd be happy to be your demonstrator. Just hit me up if you need a copy of the catalog, and we can talk about that. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm adding a few things to this video because it's celebration during this time of year, so you get some freebies, and I'm just wanting to show a little bit more things. So I'm going to go ahead and move this stuff out of the way until I need it, and then we will go ahead and get started. We're going to make this adorable card right here. I hope that you like it. I think it's super cute. I'm going to bring it up close to the camera. You can see the flowers on the background. I tied that into the main image. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll get started doing our stamping. So our card is our 5.5 by 8.5 of Pacific Point. I'm going to put this over here, kind of. I want to keep it in camera for you, but I also need some room. So we're going to take an 8.5 by 5.5 inch piece, and I have already scored it at 4 1/4, and I have folded it in half with my bone folder. That's what I use to press along the score line. And so we're going to go ahead and glue all these really cute little flowers on top of it. I'm going to grab my silicone mat. I like to use that whenever I'm using wet glue. And I'm just going to do a little bit of placement on here and figure out what I want first before I actually get it going, where I want my flowers to be. Let's see, we'll put this one over here. Maybe this one more that way. This one kind of overhanging. We'll put this one down here. We're gonna have some stuff kind of going on in other spots as well. I think I can cut this one in half, and we'll just put half a flower on there. So let me just give it a haircut down the center, as my friend Michelle says. She says, give it a haircut. I think that's so cute. All right, we'll put that one there. And then let's see. I have a partial piece that I have cut, and I'm going to go ahead and stick that in this corner here where they hang off the ends like that. I'm going to bring this one on a little bit more, maybe the full flower. Okay, the center is fine because no one's really going to see it, and I am going to, I don't think I want to add that there. I think it'll be too much if I put another one there. I think we're good. Let's just leave it like that, and let's start the gluing process. So when you think too much, you kind of, you can overthink a project. So we're just going to go ahead and add a little bit of adhesive here. And I like to use a tweezer. It's a reverse action tweezer when I am using things that I'm gluing them down, because it just helps me to place them and not get glue all over my fingers. So I'm going to just put that up there on the edge. Looks good to me. This one's going to be completely glued, so we can put glue on the whole piece. right, so this one's gonna live over here, like that. This one is going to get glued on all of its weird little shape pieces, so we will go ahead and put those on there, and then we will attach it. In this corner, this one's gonna get, I'm gonna put the tweezer where the tip is to help me with my gluing. So that is the portion that is gonna not get the adhesive, that bottom section there. So we will go ahead and let's get it straight. Right there. I think I want to put a little bit more adhesive on here. I think I want to go a little farther down. I'm gonna go a little bit farther. Let's go there. All right, we will attach that one. All right, for this one, we're gonna go kind of in. Let me grab it where we're gonna stop the adhesive. I try and do that to help me know how far out to put my glue. So if this is the side one that's coming out, we're gonna kind of line it up. All these are gonna get full glue. And then this here is only gonna get to where the tweezer is. So when I go to lay it down, I know where the tweezer is and I know where my glue is. It's just a little tip. All right, so we're gonna attach that one. All right, and this last one, I'm gonna go ahead and put my tweezer here. When I flip it over, we will add adhesive right up to where that piece is holding. All right, looks good to me. This is the overhang one. So it's overhanging right to where that is right there. Looks pretty awesome. Okay, now we're gonna flip this over. I'm gonna open the card here. I'm gonna use my paper snips and I'm going to trim away all the excess pieces that are overhung and sticking out here. I did pretty good with the glue, I think. All right, let's get these off camera and we will move on to our bird. All right, so the bird is gonna get, whoops, I missed one. I thought I got them all. I had the one at the top. Our bird is going to be stamped in our Memento Basic, our Memento Tuxedo Black ink. I'm gonna set this to the side. So let's get our little bird. All right, and let's go ahead and we're gonna ink up. This is actually a tree, not a branch, but I have used it like it was a branch. So we're gonna go ahead and ink up this tree, and I'm gonna stop right before that grass. Give it lots of ink. Okay, just like that. See how I don't have the grass inked? And then I'm gonna bring this over and I'm gonna lay it, actually gonna bring it down so I can see. All right, we're gonna hold this here and I'm just gonna kind of line this piece up like so. That looks pretty good to me. And we'll press it down and we'll have our little tag full of our tree, but it will look like a branch. See? So I'm gonna go ahead and clean that. I'm gonna use my chamois. Okay. All right, on to the next part, our bird. Our bird is also going to get inked in the Memento Tuxedo Black. So we will ink him up. And then we're going to stamp him on this little branch right here. I'm going to try and make his little feet look like they are touching the branch. I want to get his tail on there, so I'm going to bring him a little bit more forward. And I think that's good. There's our bird. Whoops. Looks pretty cute. All right. Let me clean this stamp. And that's it for our black. We're going to be using a marker, our Stampin' Right Pacific Point, which is the same color as our cardstock, and we're going to do our words here with that. So what I'm going to do is show you that I have two pieces here. One is our balmy blue and one is our white, and we are going to ink up this stamp. Now this stamp says, "It's so nice of you to be so nice," and I just want "It's so nice of you," which is why I'm using the Stampin' Right marker. So these have a brush tip and the other side is a pointed, like for writing or journaling in your scrapbooks. And so we just want the first line that says, "It's so nice of you." So I'm going to use the side. You can see I'm not using the tip, and I'm just inking up this stamp, just this top section, not the bottom. All right, once I'm happy with that, I'm gonna bring it over here and I'm just gonna stamp it. And then I am going to be trimming this piece down to make it smaller, but it's easier to stamp if you have a little bit more to press down with. So there is "It's so nice of you." So we're gonna trim that down. So I have this little baby guillotine cutter. There's plenty of guillotine cutters on Amazon. Stampin' Up does not sell these. They were a promotion for people who signed up to become a demonstrator, and it was kind of a little add-in that they gave you in the kit. And so that's how I got this when I decided to be a demonstrator. And I love it because it's so small. But there's plenty of guillotine cutters. If you like this kind of thing, you can find them on Amazon. I'm going to trim it just a hair more, I think. And I'm going to do the other side just a tiny bit closer. All right, so there's our words. I like the guillotine cutter because you can get so close like that. I'm going to put this over here for later. Let's go ahead and color our little bird. We're going to use these Stampin' Blends here, and we're going to start first with our branch, and it is going to be the dark crumb cake. And I'm basically going to follow all these lines that have attached the flowers or leaves on them, and I'm using the bullet tip because it is the finest tip, and I'm going to draw it down into these into the thicker part of the branch, but I'm also following these lines here where the leaves are connected and the flowers. All right, that looks pretty good. Now for my bird, I am going to use light crumb cake for the bottom section here. So I'm going to go ahead and color him down here with light crumb cake. When you buy the blends, they come in a light and a dark, and I'm using the light one right now. But I want to highlight that, and so I'm going to go back in with the dark. I forgot some parts. And I'm going to fill in these cute little parts here with the bird to kind of give him a little bit of highlighting in that darker color there. All right. Now the top part of my bird, I am going to be doing in this pale, well, the light balmy blue. So we're going to color all of him in the light balmy blue. All right. And then we are going to highlight him with the dark balmy blue. Just like we did with the bottom section of him, I'm just following along the marks that the artist has given us, which really helps us to be a little artist ourselves. Okay, so I'm going to use the dark for his beak. I forgot to do that. So we're going to use the dark crumb cake for his beak. And now we're going to do all the leaves. The leaves are in light mint macaron. So all of the leaves are going to be colored in that color there. It won't take too long. This is actually very quick to color with the Stampin' Blends. They are by far the fastest way we have to color. They're an alcohol blended marker, so they really saturate your paper nicely, and they actually make coloring very quick. All right, so I'm going to color all of my flowers in the dark balmy, maybe I want them light balmy blue, I think. Let's go light balmy blue. All right, so we're gonna fill in all light balmy blue here, and even the little buds that haven't yet opened. Yeah, light is better, I think, because then I can highlight it a little bit better with a darker color. So we're gonna go with the light, and then I'm gonna use Misty Moonlight, which is another one of our colors, and I'm gonna be using Misty Moonlight Light. And that's what I'm going to use for my highlight. It's a little bit darker of a blue. And I really like, I'm going to do the centers of my flowers. And then these little lines that the artist has given us, I'm just going to go over those with the Misty Moonlight light. Just following what they've drawn. And it will still show the lighter color. All right, there we go. All of our coloring is finished. All right, so let's move on to the next step. So the next step, we are going to be using this really cool die set. It's from a bundle called Hippo Happiness. So these dies you can purchase with a stamp set that has a little unicorn, a hippo, a butterfly, a little sheep. It is just the cutest stamp set, but I love these dies because see all these nested shapes? I'm a fan of those. I'm actually going to use these, which is what I used to cut this white piece. It was the largest one. So I went ahead and cut the largest one again. Okay. And here's my cardstock. So I cut it out and it left me with a large piece just like this, only it was balmy blue. I then took the next one down and I laid it in the middle and I cut it out. And when I did so, and I took away this piece, which was left over here, you can see it's the same as this, only it has an extra stitching because I used a second die. When I pop this out, this is going to be the inside right here, see? And this is going to be this part right here that's going to hide behind here. So that's what I did to create this. I used these two nested inside of each other and I ran them through the die cut machine at the same time. So those belong there. This is actually going to be stamped with our Ornate Thanks stamp set. We're going to use the one that says, "You made my day," right here. So it's going to say, "It's so nice of you. You made my day." So here's that. And I'm just going to go ahead, since I already have the marker out, I don't have to omit anything, but instead of pulling out my Pacific Point ink pad, I am just going to use the Pacific Point marker, and I'm going to give it a nice little inking. You made my day. Perfect. This is for the inside, so that part's done. All right, the final step is our butterfly that goes on the inside. So let's go ahead and stamp her. She's going to go in the Memento Tuxedo Black. So I'm going to stamp her right there. I'm going to clean my two stamps on my chamois here off camera. All right. So now we have to color her in and then we can assemble our card, okay? So these are gonna just go up there temporarily. So we're gonna color her in. Let's open inside. So I used some light and dark balmy blue to color her in. That's all the colors that I used. So I started with the light and I went around her area here where the tuxedo black is, and I just filled that in with light balmy blue. I also went down her little body here and I used the light balmy blue. And then I did just a couple of these pieces of her wings in the light, and the rest I did with dark balmy blue. That's all the coloring. Pretty simple. All right, now I'm gonna fussy cut her out. And when I say fussy cut, I just mean using my paper snips. These are awesome thin bladed scissors. I absolutely love them. And I'm just gonna work my way around, leaving a small border of white all the way around my stamped image. When you do leave that small border, it draws your eye in. And it looks like you perfectly cut this out. If you cut right along the black line, you tend to see all the imperfections. So I like to leave that little border of white. It's just a little tip, a little trick for you, because then you don't see the messiness. All right, so there's my final piece. It's time for assembly. All right, so we have our main card here. So let's go ahead and adhere these two pieces together. This is gonna lay kind of wonky like this, and then this one's going to be over the top kind of straight. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hold the two of them together and I'm going to flip them over onto my silicone mat. All right, so this piece here is going to get a line of glue. I'm just going to lift up, that way I know where to put the adhesive. So we're going to put right here, if I can get it going. There we go. We're gonna lift up and put a little line over here. Make sure I got enough over here because I didn't want to come out at first. Okay, and then we're gonna go from here to the end of this white piece. All right, so there's that. Now I'm gonna flip it over and I'm just going to put a little bit of adhesive right on this corner. Just a speck, a dot there. And then that should hold it in place. Now I'm going to adhere this whole unit as one piece. I'm going to do the same thing with my It's So Nice. I'm going to lay this piece straight and then I'm going to lean this one across it. And so I'm just going to run a little bit of adhesive down this center section, and then I'm going to go ahead and adhere it to my piece of balmy blue. All right, so now it's ready to be adhered onto my card. All right, that's it for wet glue for right now. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and add Stampin Dimensionals. Now I do love to use the ends. These are the minis and they come on a sheet like this, and when you pull them out, they're just a small dimensional. When I am to the end of my piece, I save it because I want to use that so I'm going to put that around the blue part here. So I'm going to use my paper snips. You can see I've cut a bunch of little pieces here already from this, and I'm just going to cut myself a few thin little pieces here of the dimensionals. I'm just going to go right here till I get to the end, okay? And I'm going to pull these up and I'm going to lay them down all along this border like this. And I'm going to make sure that it has plenty of dimensionals on here. In the part, whoops, it's flying around. In the part that has doesn't have any support, this like open section, right? That's like on its own. So we're gonna make sure that we have plenty of adhesive One more here, and then maybe a couple more, 2 small ones. I have 2 little ones here that I've trimmed off. Let's put that one, and here's the baby one. We'll put this one right here. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and adhere this onto our piece that we have done our flowers. Okay, I'm going to grab a tool called the Take Your Pick tool. It has a putty end I'll be using later, but I'm going to use this pointy end. It also has a spatula on one side, and there's attachments that you can get to go with it. I like to use this to pull the backs off of my foam pieces, because when I do that, they don't stick to everything with static, and then I could throw them right into my trash can without making a mess in my craft room. I'm going to do the same thing with the small ones. We'll pull the backs off. Work my way around till I have all of them off. I think one more after this one. Come on, guy. All right, there we go. Now I have them all. Now we're ready to glue down. Whoops. All right. So this part goes straight, and this is the crooked part. So I'm going to line this up so that my white piece is straight, and I just want to fill in kind of this area here, this gap that we have. I don't want it to look like a gap. So I'm going to definitely put those down like that. So there is my cute little bird. Isn't he cute? Attached onto the front. Now we want to put our words, and we want to put them here in this corner. We want it a little bit laying on here. So I'm going to use some mini dimensionals for this one. I'm going to put 2 of them in this corner here. Let's hold that there. And then I'm going to put 1 in this corner here where this white part is. And the rest of it is going to be leaning against this white piece. So I'm going to use a little bit of that wet glue, and I'm just going to run a little bit of that wet adhesive there, and with my paper snips, I'm going to pull these backs off of the mini dimensionals, and then we can attach our words onto our card. All right. I really like how this looks. It says, "It's so nice of you." All right, so there's that. Now the inside does not get any dimensional, so let me get those out of the way. We're going to use our seal adhesive, and we're going to run 2 lines of that onto our little label here that we are going to attach into the center of our card. And then I want to attach our little butterfly. So I'm going to use some wet adhesive again. And I'm going to hold him in my hand here and put a little bit of wet adhesive. And then we're going to attach our butterfly like he is just flying up onto this label here, just like that. All right, the last step here is we are going to put our ribbon. Well, not the last step. The last step is the bling, right? It's always the bling. But we're going to go ahead and tie our ribbon. So I have a nice length of ribbon here. I think it's about 15 to 17 inches. And I'm going to tie this in a knot, and then I'll slide it to where I want it on my card once it's tied. So I'm going to go ahead and cross that, and then I will bring that through, and then I will make my little knot just like that. I'm going to open my card, and then I will slide it to the spot that I want, which is right there. And then I'm going to use my paper snips. Now I have a second pair that I use just for ribbon. It has a little dangle on there. And I am going to go ahead and trim off those edges. I think this one's just a hair long. There we go. So that is our ribbon on our card, and then the very final step is going to be these beautiful blue adhesive backed gems. They come in 2 colors, a little bit darker blue like a navy, and then a pale blue, and we're going to use the pale blue this time, and we are going to use these smaller ones. Now this is where the putty end comes into play. There's putty on this side of my piece, and it's in this little compartment here. As you screw this in here and you press really hard, it oozes out of this end. So when your got as much as you want to just loosen it a little bit. And we're going to pull these little guys off, and we're going to put 2 of them side by side right here. And then we're going to add another one over here on this side by the bird. And those are our blue adhesive backed gems. They're super cool and super sparkly. I'm going to go ahead and put them back in their little plastic holder here. All right. That is our card. I hope you like this little stamp set. It does come in a bundle where you get the stamp set and the little hedgehog. Now, we didn't use the hedgehog today, but I will have other videos on my channel that you can see where I use the little hedgehog. So I'm going to go ahead and put him over here to the side, and I will put these 2 cards one on top of each other. I hope that you've enjoyed my video. I really am grateful for you watching, so thank you so much. I'm kind of new to YouTube, so if you don't mind helping me out, give me a like, a thumbs up there, comment if possible, please share my video and subscribe. That way you'll get notifications of when I post new videos. Also, check out my website, inkyhandswarmhearts.com. It's where you can shop for these products. I also have lots of inspiration. There's a blog, and I do blog every single day. So there's 7 days a week. Every single day of the year, there is inspiration for you. So check it out. The link is in the description below. And please subscribe. At the end of this video, you'll see my picture. And if you click on that, there is a subscribe button there. So check that out. Also, check out my other videos. I would greatly appreciate that as well. And thank you so much for watching. Again, this is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Happy stamping.